So, to cap it up all, 3 days of the Growth Conference, we are here and speaking about mentorship. We all know that mentorship is always the most recommended approach to anyone who wants to grow in any sphere of their life. We always hear mentorship, mentorship, mentorship. And we have in our midst a well-respected authority in the area of leadership. You know, her dedication and unwavering commitment to excellence makes her a true inspiration for us all. We're talking about no other person than Dr. Hilary Ducket. She's an associate professor in leadership at Lincoln Business School, UK. Now, she's an esteemed academic with a global footprint, renowned for expertise in portfolio development, innovation, and educational management. Holding extensive experience, Dr. Hilary possesses senior-level strategic and operational leadership skills, excelling in project management and interdisciplinary team management. Actively engaged in numerous funded research projects, Dr. Ducket spearheads a management knowledge transfer partnership and champions international initiatives supporting women in tech and women tech entrepreneurs in the Philippines and facilitating women's advancement in senior leadership roles in Nigeria. Fantastic. Within the academic sphere, Dr. Ducket undertakes university-wide responsibilities in ensuring teaching and learning qualities while maintaining a key research focus on leadership, entrepreneurship, and I think this is per G. I hope I got that right. As the director of Lincoln International Business School, DAB, Dr. Ducket demonstrates aptness in digital delivery, content development, and serves as the COSSH lead on knowledge exchange, fueled by creativity and a strong motivation. Dr. Ducket boasts a diverse portfolio of project management accomplishments, showcasing adaptability and versatility in various domains. So let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Hilary. She'll be taking us on the topic mentorship, a catalyst for growth. And you are wrapping up the most important topic, because everything that we have discussed here today or tackled, dissected, ends up with we need help, we need support, mentoring anybody to get to the next level of growth. So Dr. Hilary, welcome. Please let us spotlight Dr. Hilary here.
Thanks very much, Ogo, for that lovely introduction. And thanks so much to the previous speakers. And I've been making loads of my own notes going through. So fabulous. Thanks a lot for that. So quite a few of the other speakers have sort of touched on the need for mentoring, making changes, building networks, connecting with other people in very diverse ways. So quite a lot of the other speakers have already talked about aspects of mentorship and why it's so important. Lots of really notable people have had mentors. So we think of somebody like Dr. Martin Luther King. He was mentored himself by Benjamin Mays, who was one of the founding fathers of the civil rights movement in America. And he helped him along the path of getting a doctorate and encouraging him to, follow his lead in the sense of promoting civil rights. And look where that ended so fantastically well. Oprah Winfrey, who's been mentioned tonight as well. She's been mentored by Maya Angelou, obviously the well-known poet and writer. She's inspired her to become the kind of media entrepreneur that she is, but also using her power as a force for good. And we all know the amazing work that Oprah Winfrey does for women's education worldwide. So lots of notable people have had mentors, and Forbes and the Harvard Business Review suggested very recently in various publications that everybody should have a mentor. But it's estimated that only about 20% of the workforce in the US have a mentor, and it's about a similar proportion in the UK. I don't know the figures in Nigeria and whether that's similar around the world in every other country, but not everybody has a mentor, but it's strongly, strongly encouraged. So, in a sense, some of the things that I want to talk about are, things that have been alluded to already about believing in yourself, believing that you're worthy of working with somebody else and developing yourself and developing your skill set. Networking, crossing boundaries, building those relationships, those diverse relationships that Sana talked about right at the beginning. Also, continuously learning, never stand still, always be willing to change and adapt. And Erica was talking about that really, about making changes and asking other people for help, which really does link in so fantastically well to mentoring. And also, Malundu talked about this idea about self-leadership too, because in order to begin a mentoring relationship, you've got to be prepared to make that step in investing in yourself and setting goals that you can then discuss with somebody else. So a lot of the things that our earlier speakers have been talking about really paralleling very nicely to what I'm going to talk about.
Excellent.
Yeah, one of the things I want to say is really something Erica talked about too, about the growth mindset, this sense of embracing challenge and, having a positive outlook on life, being positive about yourself and giving yourself a real good pat on the back to encourage yourself to go on and achieve, because, that self-belief is really important. Learning new skills and learning from feedback. These are all elements of a growth mindset, which are so important to a really effective mentoring relationship.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hilary. You just, in a nutshell, you captivated everything everyone has said, because you are the crown in here. We all need mentors all the way in our career for different things, for school, for work, for parenting, for everything. We need mentors. And we're just going to go right into the questions, to make our subject matter more expansive for people to get more knowledge and, get value from it. So we talked about mentorship often brings invaluable insight and perspective. Yes, definitely. I am a product of mentorship. Noella is my mentor. It is because of her I am here today. So I am a fan of mentorship. So how can individuals actively observe and apply the wisdom shared by their mentors to push themselves to a personal and professional growth, rather than solely relying on, advice without implementation? How can we draw out the insights and perspective, from our mentors, and using that wisdom to apply it in our lives? How easy it is? What are the strategies, mentees can take on?
Okay, well, Ogo and Noella, you're a really good case study here of mentoring, because here you've got her in the background. He's done a lot of the networking, bringing people on board, and then she's putting you in the spotlight to host the whole thing, to give you a profile. So I think it's a great example of a fantastic mentoring relationship. So to answer the question then, catalyzing the opportunity, I think mentoring is a learning process, and it's a learning process for both the mentor and the mentee, but it's also a learning process for the organization, because the organization benefits immeasurably from effective mentoring. So if you think about different learning theories, I mean, learning theory is one of my things, and I try and practice what I preach by reflecting all the time, engaging in reflective practice. And if you take that into a mentoring relationship, I think you're half the way there. So a reflective process means going into the relationship with a mentor with concrete experiences that you want to discuss. So I'm struggling to be heard. I'm struggling to take leadership roles. I'm struggling to build a network. So you're going into that relationship with an experience you want to discuss. You've taken the time prior to this to reflect on it, and you've realized, actually, I've got a problem here because I'm not dealing with it, or I've tried a lot of things and they're not working, so I need some help. You've reflected already. So that's part of the reflective process. Then you kind of maybe need a mentor to help you step back from that, to start thinking, to conceptualize it, to think, what's going on here? Let's work out what some of the root issues are. Let's think about strategies that you might try. So that's the third stage, this kind of conceptualizing, which you do with a mentor. And then the last stage is actually putting things into practice. So the mentor's giving you the confidence to set some goals and then to go out and try things. So I think getting the most out of a mentoring relationship is around learning theory, really. It's around sort of engaging in that reflective process. I mean, you might also try the grow model, which is a kind of core coaching technique. I've been coaching one of my friend's daughters recently who was struggling with sort of career development and was in the felt she was in a bit of a dead end position with her role. So I took her through the grow model, the coaching model, and now I'm so pleased 6 months later she's landed a job that she really wanted, and that's a great success. And you can see that as a kind of coach mentor, I feel quite fulfilled by the fact that she's succeeded. So as a mentor, there's a lot that mentoring gives back to you. So the grow model is setting a goal. What is it that you want to achieve? It might be promotion, it might be leadership development, it might be more confidence, it might be more communication skills. So what's your goal? What's your current reality? So where are you now? What are some of the blockers? What are some of the things that are stopping you from getting where you want to be? What are the barriers? So that's the R. So the goals, the reality is the R.
Yeah.
O is options. And this is where mentoring can really help. So be an objective. This the things you can try. These are some of the ideas we've got. So you can explore options. And then the W is will. So grow is goals, reality,
Goals.
options, and will. So that's making a change, being willing to do something about it, to take action once you've been through this process. So getting the most out of mentoring is about applying learning theory and being willing to make the changes, that Erica and others have talked about tonight too.
Well, Dr. Hilary, thank you for, making it sink, grow. Everybody should have that, acronym in their heads, grow. I am sure they picked up on what they should focus on mentorship. And everything you said is true to word, because maybe I did not have an acronym for it, grow, but that's the process I went through, with mentorship and with anybody that is mentoring me or coaching me. That is actually the process. So thank you for giving a name to it. So it's called grow. So yeah, absolutely love that. Love that. So how can we identify the right mentors? This is a huge challenge. And I know my journey before I met Noella. Ooh, it was a long and hard journey before I could zero in and I think I am at home with this mentor. I think guidelines, that should align your personal and professional aspiration, and what steps can we take to cultivate those meaningful relationship, mentor and mentee relationships to further and foster growth? Please help us with that. Yes.
Well, I'll try. But obviously, we're in this together. So we're all learning together and nobody's got all the answers, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I would say there's a 7-step process involved here. So the previous one was 4, grow. This one's 7. So the first thing to do is find someone you admire. So again, you've articulated, your relationship with Noella and somebody you looked up to, sort of stepped in and has kind of helped you in your journey. Melinda talked about values, being important. And I would say try and find somebody who kind of shares your values. Okay, they're a fingerprint. Everybody's got slightly different sort of sets of values, but who are you aligned to? Because you need to get on. You need to have kind of commonality. So maybe somebody who is in their career that you can take an interest in. So find someone you admire. The second step is find someone who's achieved the goals you're aiming for, ideally. So if you want to move into that next level of management, find somebody that's already got there or even got to the level above that, because, obviously you can talk to them about their career path, about the barriers they've faced, and they can help you overcome some of the hurdles that you might encounter on your own journey. Step 3 is looking for somebody who is able and willing to take on the relationship, because as Noella probably will testify, being a mentor is it does involve time. You have to set your time aside to spend with somebody, and you have to have the motivation to do it. So find somebody who is willing to help you kind of step outside your current horizon and into new cross boundaries and go in different directions. Somebody ideally, as Sana talked about, with diverse contacts. So try and find somebody who is well networked in areas that you're not. Granovetter is somebody that I really admire, a writer on networking theory, and he wrote very much around strong and weak ties. Strong ties are your family and friends, and Erica talked about her family, people that you could call on no matter what's going on. They're always going to be there for you. You're never going to lose those in your network. But the weak ties are people, business relationships or colleagues at work or people outside your organization or people in professional groups that you don't really have very strong relationships with. But Granavetta said that it's the weak ties actually that are the most important for professional development. So cultivating more weak ties, so getting a bigger network, a broader network, a more diverse network, not people you see every day, not friends and family that you might call on regular basis, but somebody you know you can ring up if you need something, or you can get in contact to, you know, make contact with. So building up that network is key. So look for somebody who's willing to help you build a relationship and can help build relationships with other people.
Okay.
The fourth thing is select someone who's is willing to challenge you. So we never really learn if we're just doing the same old thing, working habitually. You know, other speakers have talked about this today, you know, trying to do things differently, you know, being willing to change. So having somebody that's willing to challenge what you're currently doing is important. So again, having that respect and that admiration for that person is quite critical. A fifth thing then would be to then to cultivate the relationship to make it work is to actually ask for a meeting, and that can be hard to do. I don't know how you and Noella got together, but you might be in an event, or you might see somebody face to face, or you might hear somebody talking on a Teams meeting and then decide to drop them an email or get in contact with them. So work out what your pitch is. So I've been following your career for a while, and I really admire what you've done. Or I'm looking to build my career, I'm looking to build my networks, and I think you could be somebody that could help me. So think about what your pitch might be to this person. And then make an invitation for them to join you for a coffee or for lunch. So treat it informally first to start building that relationship. The next thing then is to nurture the relationship. So making the time to get to know them, letting them make the time to get to know you, and give follow-ups as well. So after you've had a first meeting, summarize what you've learned. Oh, that's been really helpful. I've learned this, this, and this. Or you've really helped me, you know, sharpen my goals or understand where I need to, the direction I need to go in. So give them some feedback. And then maybe follow up after a few weeks. So since we last met, I've done this, this, and this, and it's really worked for me. And suggest another meeting. So nurture the relationship, you know, it needs investing in. And then maintain the relationship is the seventh one. So, you know, keep in touch with them, discuss your goals, and then thank them, obviously, for helping you, and give them the opportunity to use you too, where if they need to. So they might be working on a big presentation, they might want somebody to give an objective view. So offer to help, you know, them too. So you're reciprocating, and that's when the relationship works best, I think.
Wow. Dr. Hilary, you know that the comment section is full. So I'm going there. Like I said, this is a challenge for people. They are eager, they really want this. And I'm just going to dive right into it, please, with your permission, you know, just to showcase some questions, you know, that can help with some clarity. So I have Hilda. I think Hilda, yes, please. She says, Dr. Hilary, I have people who admire my capabilities. I mentor them, but deep down, I know I need one. It's been difficult to find one around me. How then can I take charge of those things I still feel I lack and I need to build on? So this is a mentor who is saying that people admire me. Yeah, and they feel I'm doing a good job, but I think I'm lacking. How do I, you know, find someone to help me to mentor my mentees? That's where they are right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I would say believe in yourself, because you're obviously doing a great job. And that's why people are coming to you. People see something in you that they really admire, and they want to learn from you. So I think self-belief. I think it was Melinda who talked about self-leadership, didn't she? That's what you're demonstrating, really. You're demonstrating self-leadership, and other people are sort of being attracted to that because they can see what you're achieving. You know, I guess maybe think about getting a mentor yourself if you haven't already got one, because whatever
she's struggling on getting a mentor because she feels that she wants one. So she's struggling with that. So she's wondering how she can manage that better.
Find a mentor.
Mm.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yes.
So to find a mentor, some of the things that I've been talking about, really, think about people you admire. Who in your network do you admire? Is there somebody in your workplace? Is there somebody at another organization? Is there somebody that you've been following on social media? Who is it that you admire? And then have the confidence to make your pitch pitch to that person why you think that they would be really great working with you as a mentor and what you feel the relationship could bring. So, I think go for it, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Okay, the second question is, at what point in your life or career do you need a mentor? Is it okay to choose who to mentor you? Obviously, you can choose, if no, why. But they're asking, at what point in their career do they need a mentor? Is it when they're starting off mid-level, or when they want to enter leadership role? What type of mentors do they need across their lifespan?
Yeah.
That's
Well, you are
asking.
going to need different forms of mentoring at different times of your kind of career stage and your life stage, really. And I think it's everybody needs a mentor. Probably everybody needs a mentor all of the time. It's just you might need slightly different things from different mentors. So when you're first starting out in your career, it might be about, how do I build my confidence? We hear a lot about imposter syndrome, and I think a lot of people have that within organizations. You kind of join an organization and you kind of think, well, I'm not really worthy. I'm not good enough. Everybody's a lot better than me, smarter than me, and all of that. So when you first start out, maybe you just need a little bit of confidence boosting. You need somebody to sort of be a kind of a workplace guide for you, to sort of explain how things work and to give you some positive feedback, really. But as you progress through your career, you might actually hit blocks. I mean, us women, we often hit that glass ceiling, don't we? We get to a
Yes.
certain level and we can't break through. We can't get to the next level of senior management. So is there a senior management at the next level or above them that you could work with that then could kind of sponsor you in a sense? Because mentoring to some extent can be a form of sponsorship, that you build up a relationship with them and they start talking about you to other people, and they sort of say, actually, Noella would be a great fit for you for this particular project because I know she's been working on very similar areas. So they start to become a kind of sponsor for you to help you get through that glass ceiling. So, and then obviously when you get to very senior levels of organization, you might want a mentor that's outside the organization, maybe in a professional,
Wow.
works for a similar organization or a totally different organization, maybe works in for a charity sector or a public sector organization. You might want a mentor in a totally different field, because the kind of you might be dealing with is how to make tough decisions, how to take risks, how to communicate more effectively to an external audience. You might need different sorts of things. So I think this is why, in terms of choosing your mentor, start by going through that reflective process. So think about where you are now. What's your reality? What are your challenges? And therefore, what do you need from a mentor at this particular time? What kind of person are you looking for?
Wow, Dr. Hilary, the comment section is buzzing. Everyone is getting better clarity on getting a mentor. I know that people are confused because you don't want to have too many mentors in your life. And is it better to have one mentor who has the entire capacity, that, has life experience, has career experience? Is it easier to pursue that line than having 4 or 5 people? Because building a relationship over a long period of time takes a lot of energy, time, effort, even money is required. So what is your final take on, building that relationship?
Yeah, well, I would say there's no golden rule here, in terms of the number of mentors. I would say, that there are different mentors for different things. I mean, when Erica was talking about being a mum, and I can remember when my son was born 21 years ago, he was my first child, and I was living nowhere near any family, as is often the case here in the UK. People work a long way from family and contacts. And so I needed mentors who were experienced mothers, because I didn't know anything about bringing up a child. My mother was sadly no longer here with us. So I needed, even though I was in a workplace situation with a workplace mentor helping me with my work things, I needed somebody that could help me with my kind of home, my maternal, my kind of relationship with my baby. And that was a totally different sort of mentoring relationship. So I found that through, a local NCT, National Childbirth Trust group that I was a member of. So there are different forms of mentoring. There's work mentors, but there's also life mentors, aren't there?
Yeah, sure.
And maybe it's an elderly relative or a kind of wise cousin that we look for to help us with certain life decisions. I know I've probably got 20 or 30 different people that I call on for different things when I'm trying to make decisions, because I know that different people in my life have got different skills. So I think it's being self-aware, it's being aware of what you need, and it's being confident enough. I think it was Erica who said, or it might have been Melinda, ask for help. Be confident asking for help, because people feel good about helping other people. It makes them
Yeah,
feel.
yeah, makes sense. Wow. Dr. Hilary, thank you so much for your time, expertise, giving us clarity, breaking it down in grow, giving us I say 7 point agenda for getting a mentor. And I know everyone is following through those methods, and everything you say is on point, because I went through all that process, but maybe not in that order, but I think I touched on every aspect of it to get the kind of mentors I have. And I do have mentors on different levels at different points in my life, but there are some mentors that, home to me, and I just stick with them for a longer period of time. So thank you so much. We've had a great time with you. We will definitely want an extended version of this sometime in the future. The team is going to organize something else, and you are going to be on the hot seat, because we want to really, really get in there and get to know more about mentorship and mentee type relationship. So
Well, I'll make
Hilary,
the backdrop worked out properly. I didn't conference.
no, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you, Dr. Hilary. And